the concrete, under the wire, mapping the grid before the maker drops the fire. Security is sweeping, they're locking down the gate, looking for the runners who are carrying the weight. We ducked into the alley, we crawled up on the roof, looking for a shadow and a place to hide the proof. She pulled us in the dark, she threw us in the scrap. She knew the architect was wiping out the map. I know the maker's coming, I know the city falls. I'm hiding you tonight, but when it breaks the walls, you guarantee my safety. You guarantee my life. We shook on the contract in the middle of the night. When the heavy machines are rolling to the door and the demolition crew is stepping on the floor, drop the heavy red cable right out of the glass. The foreman will see it and they'll give you a pass. Keep your people inside, don't step into the street, or your blood is on your head when the concrete meets your feet. Hang the red cable, wait for the noise. Hang the red cable. Washing out the bank, you can't cross the current in a heavy iron tank. The sector is waiting right across the divide, but there ain't no bridge to the opposite side. The architect spoke to the head of the crew, pick up the car, I got a job for you. Step into the water, step into the flood, drop the heavy boots right down into the mud. The second the lever touches the floor, the maker is stopping the engine below. The water rolls back like a heavy steel gate, walking on the dry ground, carrying the weight. Carrying the weight. steady. Walk across the drive. Walk across the drive. Scoping out the concrete, looking at the wall, waiting for the signal, waiting for the call. Looked into the shadow, standing in the dust, a man with a heavy blade, grinding off the rust. I stepped into the clearance, I looked him in the eye. Are you on our payroll or the other side supply? I don't work for the union, I don't work for the yoke. I run the maker's heavy fleet in the fire and the smoke. The commander of the army, the enforcer of the line, holding up the iron of the architect's design. I dropped down on the concrete, I put my face to the floor. I ain't the one in charge of the demolition war. He pointed to my heavy boots, he pointed to the lace. Take the leather off your feet, you're standing in my space. The ground you're on is holy, the perimeter is mine. I kicked off the heavy boots and stepped into the line. Standing on the holy dirt, standing on the holy dirt. Lock down the heavy perimeter, strap up the heavy gear. The architect is dropping a different kind of fear. No explosives on the concrete, no hammers on the glass, just a slow, heavy walk in the shadow of the mass. The foreman gave the order, nobody speak a word, not a single heavy breath or a whisper will be heard. Just the stomp, just the grind, leaving the heavy machinery behind. One shift a day, walk around the gate. sit inside and listen to the weight. Don't break the silence, don't break the code. Just 1,000 heavy boots walking on the road. They're looking from the upper floors, staring at the dust, wondering what we're doing with the iron and the rust. We're carrying the command core right outside the wall, a silent execution before the heavy fall. 6 days of quiet, 6 days of dread, putting the heavy terror inside the sector's head. Shift 1 done. Shift 2 done. Around the concrete mass, the sector is sweating, they know the time is short. They're locking every bunker and barricading the port. Lap number 5, lap number 6, we're pulling the pin on the architect's tricks. Crank up the frequency, max out the horn, the heaviest sound that was ever born. Drop the distortion right into the dirt, let the vibration rip through the shirt. The silent shift is over, the gag order's dead. Unleash the heavy thunder right into their head. The foreman stepped up, he lifted his hand, looking at the crew across the dry, cracked land. The maker has given the sector to you. Let the acoustic demolition rip completely through. The heavy horns blasted, tearing the sky. The whole crew screamed and let the frequency fly. Hold the note. Break the glass. The foundation's cracking, the pillars are bent, the structural integrity is completely spent. The frequency hit and the heavy walls shook, wiping the sector right out of the book. No wrecking ball swinging, no dynamite blast. The architect spoke and the shadow has passed. Flat to the floor, the concrete is dead. March over the rubble, just like he stripped bare, but look at the perimeter. Look at the stone. One little apartment is standing alone. The heavy red cable is hanging outside. The black market runner has nowhere to hide. The foreman yelled out, "Pull her out of the fire. We honor the contract. We honor the wire." The red cable holds. The concrete falls. The red cable holds. Look at the iron. Look at the stone. The architect stripped it right down to the bone. The sector is empty. The engines are dead. Just the cracked pavement and the words that he said. The foreman stepped up to the edge of the pit and dropped a heavy sanction on the bottom of it. Don't touch the rubble. Don't clear out the space. Don't try to rebuild the architect's grace. The man who lays down the heavy concrete will bury his firstborn right under his feet. And the man who hangs up the heavy iron gate will pay with his youngest to settle the weight. Let the dust settle. Let the weeds overgrow. Leave it as a warning for the workers below. When the maker tears down the corrupted machine, you don't try to wash the heavy machinery clean. You walk right around it. You leave it behind, a permanent scar on the corporate mind.